And just dump some sand in while I mix. This sand's gonna be awesome. You could dry pack a shower pan with it, you could do anything with it. And we're gonna do some stuff outside. Let's see if we can get that in there to mix in. Just to show you how dry we can get it. You guys see that? It just keeps accepting it.
Do you think the roof has gas curing when you're mixing?
No, that's a good question. That's what I was going to explain next. Is you actually, it becomes really forgiving because there's a lot of product, a lot of sand dissipating any heat, so it really can't pick up heat fast at all. Now this is our enemy right here, guys.
Water?
Water's our enemy. You never want water on a slab before you pour. But life is shit sometimes, right? Every contractor in this class knows life sucks sometimes. So that's actually not that dry. If you, again, get a 5-gallon bucket and really get on it with a metal mixer, you can get this stuff actually patched out drier, and you can really trowel that nicely. And you can shape it. If you have like a sloughed off step, as you can see, you can shape it whatever you want, and it cures at 15,000 psi. Now, what's the strongest you've ever seen concrete? Technically 5,000. That's a 5,000 psi bag mix. That doesn't mean you got 5,000 psi out of it, right? The problem is this most likely is not going to get damaged, and the slab might not get additional damage. But what usually happens is you'll pop your top coat off of it, or you re-separate your joint. And if you really want to protect yourself from that, I'm going to go grab my epoxy and my chip brush.
Here's, I got the brush.
Oh yeah. If you really want this to bond, I'm going to take and just chip brush, and I do this to a fracture, a joint, anything. We'll cut and we're going to grind that joint down next. But I'm going to take this right now.
What exactly is that?
This is our same outdoor flex epoxy, yes.
Okay.
And this is really heavy what I just did. Now, that's extremely excessive what I just did, just so you know. It doesn't ever have to be quite that much.
Just have to wet it?
Don't be like Levi where you just pour half your bucket of stuff on it, yeah. See, I'm not a good salesman. You should pour a lot more than that. Be more liberal with the epoxy than that.
Fill it up.
Yeah, fill it up. I hate when you're reading instructions, they're always like, just use it all. You're like, of course, I have to buy another can, dumbass. So, but when you're in a job, don't use it all, because you might need it. You know? Small. What's this? A little skipper. And anybody that wants to feel this, if you're a concrete guy or this is something you're looking at doing, feel free to come down here and this is the same way I was able to patch around those drains.
Is that just your sand mix?
Uh-huh. And we mixed it at right now it's probably still at about 15% epoxy to sand by volume. Yeah, I want somebody to come over here and show me how to do this. I want the concrete guys specifically to how that goes. I think Phil's doing pretty good though for dealing with somebody like me and wanting to show back up to work the next day. I don't know why you do that.
This is just the crack in wood wheels, or
yeah, and then we'll do the next piece. It'll be a little different, but pretty much same idea. Film it. Man, I'm losing it all in here.
Is that how you install the super Traxx?
No, we're just patching right now, guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you quite a bit right now. It's gonna be a fast crash course.
Okay.
Man, that's actually soaked up a ton of product right there. trout that. Don't you like how that is now? You gotta turn it. I don't want to overfill it or underfill it.
Cool.
Now if I can, I'm gonna just have to have Jose come over here and fix this white boy's job, I think. You're gonna fire me after you see my side. So, I don't want to pour more water over here, but we poured water all the way to here, so. I would get a walk behind pump sprayer. They cost about $185. I have 2 of them, just for weeds. Just don't ever use acetone. It'll burn your seals in 10 minutes and spray and spill everywhere. Or xylene, but alcohol sprays in them forever. So.
A nice saturation of alcohol.
Yep.
With it.
So there you go. We should just wait for this to evaporate off. And as you see, it's usually much less aggressive than people think. Now remember, that's also invisible flame a lot of times, so don't go putting your balls in it.
You want a nice shave, maybe.
Oh, it'll give you a nice shave.
The area.
You should let this evaporate though, remember that, guys. Don't ever be like me. If you've learned one thing in this class,
I'm gonna turn this over.
I love Fire Marshal Bill. Did you ever depressed in life? You watch Fire Marshal Bill?
Yeah, he was my favorite
If you
character.
still have a bad life, your life should be bad. Dude, do you remember missing Living Color so much?
Oh my god, man, he was like my favorite character.
I love
Let me
it.
show you something.
Now, it's gonna be a bit of a mess, guys, and I didn't do any patch or repair or anything else. If somebody wants to grab me that 5-gallon patches, that bucket of sand I had in there, the big bucket. I'm gonna show you guys one additional way, something I wasn't expecting to, so. Now, and this would just be, now normally, okay, let me do this the way we should do this. You'd never roll it like I was. I was trying to put this so we could broadcast sand into it because I know I could make it work. That's not what you do. You'd normally take that blade, and you'd skim your blade. That is, no matter what kind of concrete I have, if I grind it, if I think there's water in the concrete, I grind it to get the highs off, and it'll actually lay a lot smoother. You notice how thick this is? It's thick like that because it's going over, thank you by the way, sir. It's thick like that because it's going over really rough concrete with a steel blade. And I just don't want any puddles or pooling product whatsoever.
As that acetone evaporates, the stickiness is going to come back.
Oh, it's going to be very sticky, yeah. Now, this is just for a prime coat, and I want something mechanically to really bind into. But this alone would be probably the highest traction, decent sidewalk alone, just right there, coated.
And this is what you have in the front, right?
Yeah, of course, this is just our seal coat, and we did it really excessively right here just to show you how to deal with moisture and whatnot. But if I had wet concrete in a basement or anything else, that's how I deal with it. And this right here, if I'm going on to Super Traxx, I would always broadcast at least some. That's fine right there because that's enough right there. Sorry about my butt crack, guys. That's enough right there. I was hoping nobody was behind me. I felt the draft and then I saw his lips like, don't blow on that. So yeah, and that's a heavy broadcast right there. This is very, very heavy for just a seal coat. basically sand, that's all it's doing for you. But I like people to understand that if you have something old and sealed, you want to create some kind of mechanical bond to it. And the Outdoor Flex stays very flexible, and that it gives elongation, meaning like if temperature or something starts pushing it off, it's going to stretch with it quite a bit. Whereas if you have a really hard, solid epoxy, everybody wants it to be perfectly hard and clear and whatever attributes. Well, if it's not, it could be anything you want. If it's not stretchy and you cool it down, it's going to break right off. So thermal shock is expansion and contraction due to heat or cold, and that'll damage concrete, that'll damage epoxy, anything, worse than almost anything in the world. And now I'll move my little shit show down a foot, and I hope I have enough product here to still this right here, we actually poured water down on our concrete here and troweled directly over the surface and tried to mess it up, and troweled all this out right on wet concrete. So I will try to show you guys what came out. Oh, something chipped. What was it? It was my hammer. It wasn't the concrete. So that's what happens when you hit Outdoor Flex. So this is meant to be a very flexible epoxy. If you notice that, it dented. It didn't actually delaminated at all, and this is a pretty heavy sledgehammer. So basically the science behind our Outdoor Flex is you penetrate the substrate, and then the top portion of your concrete is shock resistant, flexible, even in freezing temperatures. This is a very unique resin in that it keeps its flexibility in all temperatures. Whether it's really hot, it doesn't become overly flexible, but even at 0 degrees, you could take this whole slab and fold it in half and it wouldn't break what's on the surface. So a lot of people can't figure out why we have such high bond strengths and what they think this is like such an amazing breakthrough resin. It's very expensive for us to manufacture, and we actually sell it at a very low profit margin, so it's extremely competitive on the market, but it's due to its flexibility, and the purity of it allows it to be flexible in all temperatures. And even after 7 or 8 years old, it has almost exactly the same flexibility. So as you can see, you could probably break this corner of the concrete off before it damaged your actual top coat. So